Hi, everybody. My name is Leslie Pyle, and I'm the founder of HireMyMom.com. And I'm super excited to have someone I've known online for many, many years, April Herndon with My VA School. And she's going to tell us a little bit about who she is right now.
Yeah, thanks so much for asking me to be here, Leslie. I've admired you for a very long time, so it's fun to kind of flip the script and be a part of something that you're doing.
Yes.
So, as Leslie said, I'm April Herndon, founder and creator of My VA School. And what it is an online school where I teach mainly women. We have a few men come through our course, but mainly women. Hence, if you go to my website, you'll see all the hot pink. So we do cater to mostly women, but men can come too. And I teach people all over the world how to work from home, doing virtual assisting and freelance work. And what really makes me different than a lot of places is that I actually teach the skills training that you need in order to be successful. And how I got my start in doing that was I started out as a virtual assistant through your website, HireMyMom.com. Actually had no idea what a virtual assistant was. I was just on this quest to learn how to work from home after being in a job that was sucking my soul, it felt like. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that are listening to this that can relate. Maybe you have a boss that isn't a very good leader, or maybe you're like me, you want to figure out how to be a stay-at-home mom, but maybe you can't really afford it. You can't be a stay-at-home mom on one income, which was my problem. And so I wanted to figure out a way to generate income working from home. And so my mom had told me about your website, and
Yay, Mom!
Yeah, yay, mom. So she was working as a graphic designer, and she kept saying, oh, there's all these things that I'm seeing that you would be totally qualified for and you could do working from home. And I rolled my eyes and I was like, yeah. There's no way there's anything legit working from home, until eventually I hit rock bottom. And what my rock bottom was is something I'm extremely open about. And our home was going into foreclosure. We were completely financially destitute, and my husband and I were gearing up for a divorce and had separated, and it was an all-time low for me. And to be totally honest, it all stemmed from my job. So my job kept me from being there for my kids. It kept me from seeing my husband because I worked 12-hour shifts. I worked rotating shifts. I was 911 dispatcher for anybody that's curious. And I just knew that if I could change that part of my life, then it would be a domino effect for everything else. Same thing with finances. I mean, I make $28,000 a year, which is hardly anything. And so at that point, I just figured, what the heck, what do I have to lose? And I just decided to go for it. And 6 months in, I ended up finding my first big client on your website. And she needed a VA, and I had absolutely no clue what a VA was, but I told her, if you will take a chance on me, I will do the best job for you that anyone has ever done. And she hired me, and that was initially how I got my start. And so, and by the way, my husband and I are very happily married. We bought another house. We've been in our new house. It'll be 4 years in October. And we're smart enough this time that we got something well within our means, because my husband ended up losing his job less than a year after we bought our house. But because we had learned from past mistakes, we were fine, in addition to the job that I had working from home, so which allowed me to pick up more work. So, but 6 years into working from home, I broke 6 figures, and everyone wanted to know how I was doing it. And so I decided to have this crazy idea and create a school. So that was how My VA School was born.
I was going to ask you like 5 questions, and I think you answered all 5 of those in that little spill. So was it, if I remember correctly, it was around 2012 when you started your VA business? Is that right?
So yes, it was 2000. It was about 2012, 2013, somewhere around there that
Mhm.
I started my VA business, and um, it ended up becoming the biggest blessing for myself, for my family, um, in working for myself.
Right.
And I seriously could not imagine a life without creating that business.
Right. So what I'm hearing is you got beyond your fear of letting go that sure thing check, even though it wasn't very big. You're like, I've got to take a chance. And taking a chance, if you're like me, when I did that, it was like, okay, this is kind of a do or die. I've either got to hit the ground running and make this work, or I'm going to have to go find a job. And I do not want to go find a job because I wanted that freedom and flexibility to be able to work from home. And we weren't at the, well, I guess if I hadn't have made income, we could have lost our home. We weren't quite in the same spot there, but we were living on pennies, ramen noodles, and sold one car and cut out cable TV and did everything we could to get me to a place where I could work from home. So I can so relate to that. And what a blessing now that, you look back to where you were and then you fast forward to today. It didn't happen overnight. It's not like one night and all of a sudden you're successful and everything falls into place, but it was a lot of hard work. I'm sure drive, determination, prayers, blood, sweat, tears, and all of it. But oh, how worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you guys see my curtain moving behind me, I have
I
a
was going to say, I think your
6-month-old
dog.
puppy, and she is looking out my French doors to see what is happening behind me. So if you see this moving, that's what it is. But yeah, and that's something that I tell my students all the time is, first of all, you're not going to be a millionaire doing this, and I'm not going to tell you that you are. You can, however, make an incredible income. Incredible. I mean, for me to hit $110,000, $120,000 a year as a virtual assistant, by the way, with no college degree, I'm a college dropout, okay, and no special training or skills or anything like that that would give me a quote leg up on everybody else that maybe wants to get into working from home as well. And it was, you bet your butt, it was tough some days. I mean, it's still tough some days. I mean, that's just entrepreneurship, right? You
Yeah.
just have days where you're like, oh my gosh, today was just a rough day. But when you sit back and really think about it and really have time to reflect, that's whenever I'm like, you know what? I will take a bad day for the life that I have now over what I had before.
Right.
Because, where I have one bad day out of 10, back then I had probably 9 bad days out of 10. And so you just have to come back to remember why you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And just know that the bad times will pass, but it is hard work. I mean, if it wasn't, I think everybody would do it, right? So it is hard work, but it is, I can't even explain how worth it is.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think it's so worth the sacrifices. So many times it's scary to let go of the sure thing, or even if you have a big corporate job where you're making, high five or even six figures, to let that go and take a chance. But you have to know, do you have the drive and determination? Are you really willing to work hard to make it work and to continually learn, which is what I love about courses like yours. Be a continual learner so that you can stay on the cutting edge of what these businesses are looking for. So on that note, tell us what your course includes. Kind of give us a rundown. I know you can't go through everything, but give us kind of an overview of what's in your course.
Yeah, and I can give you a link for people to download the course curriculum, and it's something that I tell people that, if you are like I was, so something that we're always paying with is time or money, right? That's our currency. And so if you don't have the money to invest in a program, which there wasn't such a thing as a program when I was first starting out, but if there were, there's no way I could have afforded it. And so if that is where you are, Google search everything that's in my course curriculum. Will it, will it be more time consuming and a little bit more difficult to figure it out on your own? Yes, but something that I tell everyone is, please don't think that you need me in order to be successful, because the person that you need to rely on to be successful is yourself. But everything that's included in my course, so we cover the most popular programs. And because if I were to train every program ever made, ever, you'd never graduate, because we would be training all the time. And there's so many programs out there. And by the way, these are programs that your clients use. A lot of people are confused about that and ask, do I need to get these programs? No, these are programs that you are going to see your clients requesting you to be proficient in. Mm-hmm. And so what we do is we take the top ones. So for example, email marketing. We're going to go over everything that's included in email marketing as far as the proofreading and embedding links and all of those things. Mm-hmm. But we also train you on several programs. So Aweber is very popular. We train in that. MailChimp is very popular. Infusionsoft, things like that. But you may come across in your career a different program that maybe you've never heard of. And so, but the thing is, they're all the same. They just, maybe they vary a little bit, but they're all the same, essentially. They do the same job.
Right.
And so
one, it's very easy to get familiar and learn the second.
Say that again.
If you know one, like for instance,
yes.
If you know MailChimp, then learning Aweber or Infusionsoft is going to be a much easier process.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And so once you learn one or two, mm-hmm. you've got it, and you can move on to other programs. So if somebody's like, do you have experience in this email marketing software? And you say, no, but I have experience in these, and I know I can figure this one out. Right. Then they're like, oh, okay, no problem. So, we teach everything from email marketing to how to use Dropbox and Google Drive. And if you're watching this and thinking, oh, well, that's basic. Well, but not everyone has seen those things. And so they need to be proficient in things as simple as cloud storage, right?
That way too, they're not scared when they see a job post that says something about Google Drive or Dropbox, like, oh my gosh, that must be some really difficult platform I've never heard of. I can't apply for that job.
Exactly.
Just taking 10 minutes, then you will have more confidence when you see that in a job post and go, oh yeah, that's a piece of cake. I know what that is.
Yeah, exactly. And that's part of the purpose of my school too, is number one, to take the fear out of it, because you have to, first of all, I teach you, but I also give you the hands-on experience that you need. Mm-hmm. And so then you're like, oh, this is it? What was I so afraid of? So when you see that later, then you're like, oh, well, April taught me this in her course, and it's no big deal. And I know that I can do that. So, I think I want to apply for this job. Also, the second part to that is you get a certification when you take my course. And so, but this is not a promo for my course at all, although I am a little biased, but because our VAs are successful, and we've got lots of them on your website, mm-hmm. Because that's where I send them. But yeah, it's, and I totally just lost my train of thought, but because I have not eaten today.
Uh-oh. And while I'm thinking about it, April, I'll put all of this in the comment section below, but April's offering a discount for her program too. So I don't want to forget to mention that while maybe you're churning what you were thinking about.
Yeah, no, it's okay. But back to my curriculum, we teach everything from email marketing to, I show you how to build funnels, which if you're not familiar with what a funnel is, it's not a big deal. All it is a series of web pages put together. A lot of people think like, oh my gosh, this is a big thing that I can never understand. And something that I tell people is, we're not doing brain surgery here. Mm-hmm. Okay, everything is figure outable, and everything is teachable. So that takes some of the intimidation factor out of it as well. Oh, I know what I was saying. I was talking about getting a certification from my school, which makes you more credible to some people. So that was the other part of that as well. So sometimes my brain goes faster than my mouth because I have all these things flying around. So, and that's just me. That's just who I am. But you know, and we teach everything from WordPress to how to hack creativity, because by nature I am a creative person, but not everyone is. But also I'm not creative all the time. It's kind of like writer's block, where you're like, oh, you know, I'm really drawing a blank today, but you still have work that you have to do. And so I actually teach you how to get those creative juices flowing, where to go, what to do, and things like that to really get some ideas. And then use other people, other brands as inspiration. Don't copy them. There's a difference, but you can use them as inspiration depending on what you're going for. And we teach everything from Photoshop to logo design. So we have a very, very extensive course curriculum.
So about how long, I know it depends on how many hours per day someone puts into it, but roughly how long does it take to go through your program?
So the program is 13 weeks. It is not go at your own pace, meaning you don't go each week by yourself. You are completely guided by me. Now each week is go at your own pace. So everything is released on Monday, and you know, you have the entire week to get it done. Some weeks are going to be longer than others, meaning some weeks are more difficult than others. So typically halfway through the course we get more difficult. But you know what I tell everyone, about an average of an hour a day. If you just work an hour a day on your course, schedule it in your calendar.
Yes.
And because that's really important, and don't break a promise to yourself, no matter how tired you are, because you're not always going to be feeling it, right?
Right.
You're not always going to be inspired or motivated. And so make sure that you're setting aside that time every single day to sit down and go over your coursework. And if you get through the whole thing, go over it again and go over it again, because you want this ingrained in your brain. And then something else too is our courses never come down. So once you buy them, you always have access to them. And anytime I update a training, you always get access to the updated training, because, for example, MailChimp has changed a lot in the last year. They've changed a lot about the way they do things. They've changed the way things are structured inside of their program. And so I had to update the MailChimp training to reflect all of their changes. And so when I update that, every past student gets that updated MailChimp training. So you don't have old training, because I want to make sure that you continue to stay on top of everything and continue to be successful. And that's, you know, that's one of the things that we do. It's something that's incredibly important as well. So
yes. And so I mentioned earlier that you're offering a discount. I believe it was 20%. So do you have payment options and that sort of thing for people if they want to sign up and they just can't afford the whole thing, or how does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm completely transparent about the tuition costs. I think a lot of people, you know, are maybe afraid to disclose prices and things like that. And I actually think it's important to talk about money. We also talk about money in the course, as far as how much money will you make, because I think that's really important, because you need to know if this is something that's sustainable for you. P.S. It is. But you need to make sure that you can pay real bills with it, right? So the tuition's $24.99, so $2,499, not $24.99. We do offer lots of payment plan options. We'll finance it for you. It goes all the way to 18 months, which we just started. We used to only have a 12-month plan, which was our longest plan. We now get 18 months. So, which I believe is, it's under $200 a month for you to get in. And then if you use your 20% discount, I think it's like, I don't know, I'll have to look, but I think it's like 163, somewhere around there. So, which is completely doable for most people. And then, you know, we have other payment plan options that are shorter. We still have our 12-month plan. We also have a 6 and a 3-month plan. And then of course there's pay in full, which is obviously no interest when you get our payment plans. There's a little bit of interest. And then we also offer PayPal credit, which is interest-free financing for 6. So lots of different options for people. We try to make it as affordable as possible. But I know you understand the value of training like this. And here's the thing. You will make that and more on your first project with a client, depending on what it is, or your first month with working with a client in most cases. Nice. And I say in most cases because a client that needs you 5 hours a week, no, but a regular decent client that needs you 20 hours or more per week, you're going to make that right back. Mm-hmm. And nobody can take away your knowledge. That's the great thing. So everything that you learn, nobody can take it away from you. So it's priceless.
Yes, I agree. And I think it's important to remind people that you have to invest in yourself. I mean, think of how many thousands of dollars people spend on college, and it's a 4-year, sometimes you don't even use anything of your college degree, and sometimes you do, but investing in yourself, I mean, you're going to see if you stick with this and pursue it, you're going to get your money back and more. Because I get some people that say, why do I have to pay for your service? $30. Well, how much time do you have to chase after clients to get? I mean, like you were saying, time and money are our currency, and a website and running a business costs money. So as much as I do this out of love and passion, we all have to make a living. So, I try to make it as affordable as I can, like you do, but you have to be willing to invest in yourself. I mean, if you can afford, eating out and going shopping and buying Starbucks or whatever it is, then you can set aside some money for something like this, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And you'll get to the top so much faster. Mm-hmm. And like I tell everybody, like I said before, you don't need me, but you will get to the top so much quicker. You'll be able to charge more for your hour. You'll be trained by somebody that's already been there, that's somebody that's been in the industry. It's been almost a decade now, which feels crazy that I've been doing it for that long. And so it takes a lot of headache out. And also, expenses for your business are tax write-offs. Mm-hmm. So there's lots of tax benefits. Talk to a CPA. I'm not a CPA, but I have been doing my taxes for a long time. And so, I think it's a win-win for most people.
Yes, 100% agree. Well, thank you so much, April. You've been a wealth of information and help. Do you have any final thoughts or tips that you wanted to share?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you guys some tangible things like my course curriculum, how much I'll give you a sheet on how much to charge and some different services that you can offer from home. But I'm in the middle of writing a blog post, and this is so perfect. And it's the 3 myths about working from home. And one of those myths is that you have to have it all figured out before you start. And that's just simply not true. I didn't even know what a VA was, and I was already starting working from home. And there's so many people out there that are so much less qualified than you are that are killing it right now doing something that you're dreaming of. And the only difference is they started and you're still sitting there thinking you have to have it all figured out. And so what I really just want to encourage people to do and challenge people to do, if this is something that you want to do, you want to have a work from home career, go for it.
Yes.
Go for it. Put one foot in front of the other. I swear you'll figure it out as you go. You will learn so much. You will grow so much.
Yes.
And also, other people's opinions don't matter because there are so many people that have your best interest but don't understand the work from home space. Mm-hmm. And so they may be trying to give you good advice, but if they don't understand it, they can't advise you on it. And so listen to people that have been there before, people like Leslie, people like me, mm-hmm. even other people. I'm not the only one. Lauren Golden also has a school. Caitlin Pyle also has a school. So there are other people that you can learn from, but listen to people that have gone before you.
Yeah.
And, you know, you do you, and you'll be just fine.
Yes, I agree so much. Well, thank you again, April, and I look forward to seeing how many people are going to sign up and learn all that you have to offer.
Thanks so much for having me.
Mhm.